What's up you guys, Joe Dobby here, back at it again with another deck profile for you. And today I am so excited because this is one of the rogue decks that I had initially built while looking for purple pieces because I didn't pull enough of them. And I think this deck is quite a sleeper in the meta. I think it can catch a lot of people off guard with its ability to flood the board and just go crazy. This is my black deck profile featuring DarkKnightmon. We're gonna get it started. So first of all, we're gonna jump into the eggs. We're running 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of Pagumon on deletion. You just reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a black Digimon, you add it to your hand. Otherwise, you send it to the bottom. Very good searcher in order to get some pieces going, and you really need to see these pieces in order to get the Dark Knight combo in. Love this card. It's been working so far. I don't really need any other eggs because most of the cards that I'm playing for rookies are on play effects anyway. Going into the Monotamon, on play you can search for a Deadly Axe or a Digimon with DarkKnightmon in its name and add it to your hand. So you can actually get both of these cards, which is really good in order to progress your game state and get to your win condition. Very good card overall. And to support this Monotamon, we've got another Monotamon. So this card has kind of been overlooked, but in the BT5 set and in BT7 right now, I think there is very good use for it because on play, it's a baby Izzy. You can look at the top card of your deck and just put it back down. And on deletion, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play a Monotamon on the board for free, basically, which is crazy. So, you know, you hard play the Monota, you get to do a little bit of an Izzy look. If it is another Monota, then you know what you're drawing yourself into. If not, that's still a good chance. It's kind of like a signal for you to swing with this one, hopefully get that one out and then search for your pieces. Very good card overall. It's actually also clutched me some game-winning hits because when this is deleted, I get to play a Monotamon, which pretty much sets me up for game if they're at 0 security. So sometimes it just steals games, and that's really what you can look for in rookies like this. Next, we've got 3 copies of Chikrimon, D-Digivolve 1 from security. Very good unexpected card in the deck, and it's, you know, if anything, it'll at least help me get Pagumon going looking for my pieces, so it's not too bad of a choice there. Rounding off the rookies, we've got 1 copy of Gotsumon. It's just a blocker. Debating what to put for this last slot. Might be a 4th Chikrimon if I'm feeling it, but right now we're going with a single blocker. And now we're going into the level 4 package, and we are running 4 copies of DarkKnightmon. This Digimon is obviously a must. It facilitates the ability to get into DarkKnightmon for free and adding Deadly Axemon to the bottom of this guy's Digivolution sources, so you get to swing when attacking with Skull Knight. You add the Deadly Axe at the bottom of the source and then Digivolve into Dark Knight without paying its cost. So now you're really swinging for 9k 2 checks, which is very, very powerful indeed, which is why you gotta run the guy at 4. Next, we're also running 4 copies of Deadly Axemon here, and the reason why we run the 4 copies is for the exact same reason we run Skull Knightmon. You need it for DarkKnightmon. Deadly Axemon allows you to pick up 2 Digimon with Knightmon in their names, which is basically the Skull Knight and the Dark Knight, or even Lord Knight or the Yellow Knightmon if you're feeling adventurous. After revealing the top 5 cards of your deck on play, very good card, love it. Next, we are running 2 copies of Grumblemon. 1 is fine, but I just felt like I was bottom decking the Grumblemon too much, so I added another one. So if I have one in my hand, I just hold on to it until I'm ready to swing for game. Apart from that, that's really all Grumblemon does because I'm not running that many Tamers anyway. 1 copy of Numamon just to troll. You know, it's a 3 cost, it's basically an extra rookie, or it's a 1 cost to Evo for that extra draw. As long as it gets me to my DarkKnightmon, I don't mind it at all. If it gets me to another level 5 to bridge to my Mega, very good, so I'll keep that 1 there for now. Going into our level 5s here, we are running 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of DarkKnightmon. DarkKnightmon's on-play effect is you can search your hand or your trash to pick up either Skull Knight or Deadly Axe from those areas into the bottom of the DarkKnightmon's Digivolution sources on play. And DarkKnightmon's on deletion effect is you get to play and/or, which means you could play both, Skull Knightmon and Deadly Axemon as a Digivolution source suspended on deletion. So you can actually, if this guy swings in 9k 2 checks and gets deleted on the second check, you can reward your opponent with 2 more bodies. But because they come in suspended, I thought this would be a very good addition. I am running 3 copies of Black Mach Galgamon. And the reason why I run him is literally just for the reboot. So I can actually, on deletion, the DarkKnightmon is done, placing Deadly Axe and Skullknightmon basically suspended on the field. So I can end my turn going into Black Mach Galgamon on either of them, or sometimes even both of them in some cases. And they both have reboots, so they just go up unsuspended. And they're basically a bridge to my level 6s. So we're gonna dive into the last of the level 5s. 2 copies of Andromon. Just a nice little blocker to have, you know, especially over the Numamon, because you can just sit there and stay in Andromon until I'm pretty much ready for the DarkKnightmon setup. And I also play Zwarts in the deck, which is why bringing 2 of these out could be game winning. Next, guys, we're running 1, 2, 3, 4 copies of this Metal Garurumon from BT5. Very powerful effect because it's got reboot inherently, which is great. And on when digivolving, actually, apologies, you can Digiburst 2, which is basically the source of the DarkKnightmon, Skullknightmon, and Deadly Axe, in order to either delete a Digimon with a play cost of 6, or if that can't be done, you trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So picture a scenario where you are at 3 memory, you have a Deadly Axe and a Skullknightmon on the field. You can swing with Skullknightmon to place Deadly Axe as a source, Digivolve into Dark Knight. Dark Knight swings for 2 checks, 9k. If Dark Knight survives, you Digivolve over the boy, trashing these 2 sources once again to either trash that 3rd security or to delete a Digimon. And if the Dark Knight is in fact deleted, you're still at 3 memory, which means you can go into Black Mach Galga over either of these and then Digivolve into Metalgar and do the exact same thing via Digiburst. So it's a very consistent bridge to Metalgar, which I love very much. Next, we're running 1 copy of Crest Garurumon because it has reboot, and when Digivolving, you can actually play a level 5 Digimon that's black or red without paying its memory cost. The best part about this is it triggers on-play effects, which means if you reveal a DarkKnightmon, you can actually trigger DarkKnightmon's effect to play either of these underneath the source, and you've got a formidable Digimon at the end of it, which is really great. 1 copy of Genkumon. The Genkumon's really here just for that wide board removal. There's a lot of Bokumon going out and about with the hybrid meta. A lot of 2k rookies just sitting tight, hanging out, and Genkumon will take care of that if need be. It's also got an aggressive kind of like characteristic to it with its security attack +1, which is why I like it very much. Next, for the level 7s, we're only running 3 copies of Omnimon Zwart. So Zwart, when Digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. You can get level 5s in trash, you can get these sources in trash, and then play 2 Digimon with a play cost of 8 or less without paying its memory cost. So I can literally bring out DarkKnightmon, Black Mach Galga, Andromon, and all their on-play effects, if any, would trigger. And it's a very good effect. In addition to that, if he survives, I can actually bounce the Metalgar to go into the Metalgar over the DarkKnightmon that I had just brought out previously to remove sources, to remove the top of their security stack, or to delete a Digimon. And Zwart will actually delete an unsuspended Digimon as a result of it, so it's very, very good. For the Tamers, guys, we're running 1 copy of Izzy Azumi and Joe Kiddo, and 2 copies of Izzy Azumi. Izzy is my information gatherer / memory tamer. You guys know what he does already. Very good card. And Izzy Azumi and Joe is pretty much my memory extender, getting me to 5 depending on the board state. And when one of my Digimon's deleted, which chances are they could be, I can actually just suspend this guy to draw 1 on my opponent's turn, which I think is a pretty good card overall. So we're keeping him. Diving into the options, guys, running 2 copies of Iron Fisted Onslaught. I'm debating whether these should be Ultimate Flare, but for now we're gonna run Iron Fisted Onslaught. I don't really need to worry about hybrids with this deck because I'm essentially keeping up with the ability to spam and go wide. So Iron Fisted Onslaught is really for taking care of Jessamon, for taking care of decks that like to go taller. I can at least delete these tall decks or tall Digimon that way, which is not bad. And here's a card that nobody's seen yet in a while. A Blazing Storm of Metal. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, your Digimon with Reboot gain plus 1000 DP and blockers for 1 cost, guys. So literally after Digibursting, Crash, all that stuff, even Black Galgamon over these two, if I really want to, I could give them blocker, I could give this guy blocker, all my reboots get blocker. In addition to that, its security effect is Breath of the Gods, except you can also add it to your hand to have a blocker for next turn if you've got the reboot set up. Very powerful card, and yeah, I'm testing this for now. We'll see how it goes. 1 copy of Javolt, because I don't really mind that my DarkKnightmons are getting deleted, because once they are deleted, I get to play these guys and start the whole process over again, which is really awesome. And Javolt might be important, might not, depending on the board state, but I think with how spammy things can get and with how a lot of hybrid decks like to kind of like sit on their level 4s, level 5s before going into their mega, if they have any, because usually they're kind of like trying to rush you with champions and hybrids, Javolt will play a pretty big role, so I keep them there. And last but not least, 2 copies of Pride Memory Boost. This card is insane, guys. Pride Memory Boost, main effect, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You can add, or actually you can play a Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less without paying its memory cost, and you're trashing the rest of the cards. So you're trashing sources, you're trashing things that could be brought back with Zwart, that could be brought back with Dark Knight, which is awesome, and it's got the delay effect of just gaining 2 memory. And look at this, guys. We've got multiple targets. Monetamon's a target, Chikri, Gotsu, Skull Knight, Deadly Axe, Numamon, they're all targets. The only exception in the level 4 or below is just the 2 copies of Grumblemon. And they were actually initially Mechanorimon, but I found Mechanorimon a little bit lackluster recently, which is why I don't really mess with the boy. I took away the 3 and just started this little ratio here. But that said, guys, this is a really, really fun deck to play. It catches people off guard, and my favorite combo is when you have the Deadly Axe and the Skull Knight on the board, you swing with Skull Knight, adding Deadly Axe as a source to Digivolve into Dark Knight for free. So the Dark Knight swinging for 2 checks 9k, and just to add insult to injury, if the Dark Knight survives, you go right into Melga, Digibursting these 2 sources, or even the Dark Knight if you want to go to Zwart next turn and either trash the top of their security or delete one of their 6 cost or lower Digimon. And that could be a Bokomon, that could be a Nemon, that could be cards that are crucial to your opponent's win condition. And if you can do that, you're just pretty good overall. But yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. Let me know what you think of the deck. Let me know if you've enjoyed this deck profile, or this style at least. I'm trying to up the quality, because you know Joe Dobby is slowly trying to make his YouTube a little bit better every day. So let me know if you have any suggestions. Let me know what you think of this deck profile, and if you liked it, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe, because your boy could really use some algorithm hookups. That said, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.